So are the New Jersey Devils going to be the reason the Boston Bruins are going to struggle to make the playoffs? Are they, after losing 1-0 to the New Jersey Devils on Sunday evening at TD Garden, coming off of two incredibly intense games against the Washington Capitals, incredibly physical games? It wasn't like the Bruins didn't put forth, I thought, an effort. They didn't have their finish. We're going to talk about a lot of things that happened in the game here on Morning Brew with Jaffe and Razor. That is coming to you at nighttime, as Monday morning is a busy time for both Razor and myself and RC. Never forget RC and all the classes he has to go to. So, Razor, how you doing tonight? You doing all right?
Yeah, I was hoping to get a little more energy from that game tonight as a Sunday night after a longer weekend running around, but we didn't get that, unfortunately. So I'm gonna grind through.
All right, good.
Yep.
I'm drinking. I am legitimately drinking. I am drinking. Okay. I have it in a coffee mug out of habit. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm drinking. It's
Yeah.
post game. So
Also Canadian.
yes, I picked up 18. I think it was an 18 of good old Molson. In addition to many other things, as you and I discussed off air, a major event happened on Saturday with Victoria as we spent, we called it a date at Total Wine.
10 miles
Spending
west.
Yeah.
All afternoon.
Oh,
All
yeah.
afternoon. Yeah.
Nothing like 45 minutes of Total Wine to drain your bank account, but it was worth it. And listen, all right, the Bruins have had trouble with the New York Islanders. I can understand that in a way. Can you understand the trouble that they've had with the New Jersey Devils that is now just one win in the 4 games that they've played against them?
Absolutely zero. Does not make. And I guess the first 2 games, Mackenzie Blackwood was fantastic. Lights out, played great, and you run into a hot goalie, but now it's a trend, now it's a pattern, and now they can't find a way to get inside and penetrate this New Jersey team somehow. And tonight was the last game was frustrating at home as well, coming off 4 or 5 days rest. You figure you're going to blow the doors off these guys, easy win, and I thought the same was going to happen today. I thought the older guys, the veterans, were going to tell the younger guys that, hey, we can't fall into a trap game here. These guys played yesterday. We have to come out, take their will away from them right away, have a nice, easy afternoon game, and enjoy our Sunday night. And instead, they allowed the New Jersey Devils to hang around, and did not in any way put them away.
Speaking of not being able to penetrate, I could get in trouble for this, but I don't care. I'll go for it. The New Jersey Devils go full wood against the Boston Bruins. Either Blackwood, Wedgewood, or Mileswood.
There's a lot of wood over there.
Full wood. If you have a last name, any part of wood in your last name,
you're a Bruins killer. Yeah.
You are a Bruins killer.
You're a
Jesus.
Bruins killer.
That's
they made Scott Wedgewood look like Martin Brodeur today.
So
they really
he's
did.
only right.
They really
he's
did.
6'2". All right. Blackwood is 6'4".
Yes.
All right. But yet he looks much smaller.
He looks so much smaller. It's
Is
funny.
It his pads?
It's really funny you say that. Well, it can be sometimes. I didn't think that though, but it's funny you say that because at the end of the game, Mason and I were watching, and at the end of the game, he's as tall, or if not taller, than Subban. And I was like, wow, I didn't think he was good. I thought he was a 6'1" guy, but he's a bigger guy. And
he has black leg pads, though.
Yes,
right?
He has the black pads.
So shouldn't Blackwood have black pads?
Yeah, he should. He's got the full whites that make him look like a monster, and there is some kind of an optic illusion that goalies, some goalie coaches mandate goalies to have white on at least on the outsides of their pads. Ian Clark in Vancouver is forcing his goalies to have a white outline because of the optics. But he shouldn't have looked. He looked like he was 8'4" in there today. The way the Bruins put pucks at him.
40 shots reached him, many more attempts. Again, it wasn't that they weren't engaged. They had some plays, though, that just didn't get finished to him. The puck was moving all over the place. I saw a bunch of guys blow tires in the Bruins' first and third defensive zone corner off to the glove side of Tuukka. Okay, so that would be the left wing defensive side, right? Right wing for the Devils. I'm not blaming the ice for them. I'm just saying they didn't have finish. Pucks were bouncing. Things were happening. A few times they just couldn't connect on passes, the Bruins. But Scott Wedgewood, who has been a loyal backup as Blackwood more or less, except for the time that he was out with COVID protocol stuff, they didn't even trust McKenzie for this game.
No.
It was Wedgewood and Dell. Dude, you got a Dell. I mean, he was in net or backing up.
Yeah, you got him back-to-back games coming off a massive, got pounded in New York yesterday. They got pounded. And, it was frustrating.
They can't win at home. The Devils can't win at home. Yet on the road, they're a different team. So that says to me that they don't feel, for some reason, it's a galvanizing force getting on the road. It's a much less pressure, which doesn't
Are the Bruins falling into that a little bit right now?
Maybe, yeah. Although, boy, they stepped up.
Last game was great.
Friday and Wednesday. I don't know, man. All right. So look, let's talk about the one goal that was scored. They give it to Kyle Palmieri. I still didn't see that. I thought it was Pavel Zacha's. But it came after the Bruins had two power play opportunities in the third, which is what I thought all they needed.
I know.
We'll talk about the power play in a moment. But the goal, it reminded me almost exactly, a little different play, but almost exactly to the same thing that happened the first time the Bruins played the Islanders.
Yep.
When they played well, but, they just couldn't finish, but all that stuff. And then pucks find their way to the front of the net. And I fully admit, watching that game, green room, getting ready, starting to think post-game or at least hopefully OT at the very least and everything, saying if the Devils score, if the Bruins don't score on this power play, Devils are going to score. You just had that feeling. And they'll win this game. That's exactly what happened. And they just putting pucks to the net. Nothing Tuukka could do there. Wasn't even a bad defensive play per se. It was just about effort by the Devils.
That's right. Yeah, Subban gets down on the line and puts it out in front. And Tuukka played it really well, actually, with coming out on Zach. And we've talked, filling space and getting his hands forward. He did that. You could see that it just nicked off of the puck. Would have ended up going wide the way Tuukka had over top of the puck, box control, filling space. It just happens to nick off Palmieri's calf just off to the side of the net, and you could see Tuukka react like he was surprised that it went in, because I feel he had it completely covered and was in the spot that he wanted to be in, and yeah, it's one night it felt there's times when you feel this team can come back and they're going to find it. That tonight wasn't one of those nights.
Nope.
that once that went in, that was it. That was going to be their chance.
Yeah, I would have been shocked if they tied it. Obviously, they didn't.
Yeah.
I will say I thought PK Subban played pretty darn well tonight.
He did. He had 4 or 5 one-timers, his old school hammer times.
But I feel like those are so predictable now. I don't want to say it's easy for a goalie, but I feel like it's easier. And the only time he ever fakes his one-timer is now when he's straight up at the top of the umbrella or way up, like 60 feet away, 70. He'll fake it always, and then that's much easier for guys. But I look, I thought the guy played well. I'm not criticizing him. I'm saying I thought he played well tonight, and I haven't always thought that the last 2 or 3 years that he's played that well.
Yeah, and he was in on that goal, getting in on the rushing the puck, moving the puck, skating the puck up, and putting it in on net. So PK is now PK. He won in Norris, but he's far from that nowadays. He's but he's obviously an athlete that has done well in this league. That's going to show glimpses. You're just not going to get it on a consistent matter anymore.
And he's single because he and Lindsay broke up.
He is single.
He's a single
and ready
athlete.
to mingle. Yeah.
Yes, single and ready to go.
Decent resume now too.
I would say so. Yes. He's got yes, I would say so. Power play. Because that is exactly what the Bruins needed in the third period. Because they didn't have any power plays through 2 periods. The power play has gone quiet. What is it now? Last 5 games? 5 in a row? 6? 5 or zeros. Zeros. Cobb, nada.
Zeros.
Right. They moved Pasternak. He was oftentimes in that high top of the, we'll call it umbrella. It's really not. But anyways, of their motion. He was taking what I would call the PK shots from way far away. I love his shot. I like the movement on it. Is really, but I don't think I love him taking up. I would much rather him being there once in a while, and I want him flanked on the left side. Barry and I talked about it in post game. It draws the attention of somebody else. It forces your defense to, your PK to go more into a diamond or whatever, and then opens up the middle perhaps for Bergeron. An easy game from my spot, but Razor, I just feel like that shot from 60-something feet, whatever it is, I think it will work once in a while for Tip, but it's just too easy for the opponent to defend against.
Much too. I couldn't agree with you guys more talking about that in post game. It's frustrating to have him up there. You don't see Ovechkin never goes up there. Matthews never goes up there.
Right.
Shooters don't go up there. And for the simple reason, think about how hard it is for the forwards to try and tip one of those shots.
Right.
We just talk about how hard he shoots it and how his release and goalies can't stop it. How is Bergeron or Marchand or Richie or Krejci or whoever's in there going to tip it? They have no idea where it's going. And half the time David doesn't either. And so I couldn't agree with you more. I think you need him closer to the net. You need him to be the one where Krejci gets it on net and Pasternak can find that rebound off a tip, off a pad. You have him closer to the net to be able to take advantage. So I didn't really, and even in the second period, at the end of the second period, David breaks his stick with the 5 seconds left. But that's still 65 feet away. And it's a decent chance, but I'd still like to find them, get him over on the flank, like you said. And we've seen here in the last couple of weeks where he makes that pass to Bergeron too, where he holds it and he becomes a passing threat from there. Up top, he's not a passing threat.
One-dimensional.
It's completely one-dimensional. They come up, they give him that shot, and there's nothing else. There's just nothing else. The bumper play to Patrice isn't there. They're covering backdoor. They got burnt early in the season by Nick Ritchie scoring on the doorstep. They took all of that away on the PK. They did a good job. New Jersey did. There was no seam passes for Marchand, and I think a lot of that comes from having David up top today.
Yeah, so he had 10 shots on goal, career high, but at least 4 were from significant distance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and one of them was definitely that broken stick one that, broken back blooper. That was easy. So
he had a gorgeous play where he one-hand toe dragged and went back, and Blackwood, Wedgewood, sorry, got my woods mixed up, made a really, whether it was nice, I don't want to say lucky, but just a fortunate save.
Yeah, he was sliding away, and we've talked about this, right, where players want to get that goalie moving. It just nicked his pad, just the top of his pad, and credit to him, he made the save. You got to be good to be lucky to be good. Yep. But again, I think that's a good recap of the entire synopsis of the entire game. Just great play, close, but not good enough.
Right, not finished.
Not
finished. To me, it was one of those games, the finish was not there, obviously, as the Bruins get shut out. I want to talk about, I don't know what else they can do on the power play before I go anywhere else. Nick Ritchie got shifted off of it at one point. Nick Ritchie still played 15 and a half minutes, but he got bumped off his line a bit in the third, a little bit on the power play. Wasn't out there as much. He was out there still, but not the entire time. Do you put somebody else there? What do you do on the power play right now? Because until this the secondary scoring gets going again, and stop us if you heard this before, you need your power play.
It's on the power play.
Right. So what do? You go back to 5 forwards? I don't think that's going to happen.
That's what I was going to say. That seems like the next move, and I'm not sure if that's the answer, but I don't think the issue with the other guy, like who else do you move in? I don't think you can start.
Well, I put Krejci there near the end. You brought him back to there.
Yeah, which is that I don't that's great. 4-4. Put the deep, take him, move Richie and Krejci. But you can't go and put DeBrusque on that first unit right now. You can't go and put Smith on that first unit. I don't think right now. I think the guys that are going are the ones they're putting out there, and you just have to have them figured out. And again, you could go to that fit. That seems like the only option that is different personnel-wise is going with 5 forwards again.
It's concerning. It is because, those guys are, when they are good, they're elite. Right now, they're elite at 5-on-5, but on the power play, they're not, it's funny, they can't get both of them going at the same time.
Yeah, and what's concerning for me is tonight or today is they didn't do it when they needed it. It doesn't matter if your power play goes 1 for 17 when you're in a 5-1 game either way. You win 5-1, you lose 4-1, you lost 7-2, 6-2. The power play isn't making a difference. But today, this is how many games have the Bruins won in the last 2 seasons? Just like this one against the New Jersey Devils in a 0-0 game in the third period, and the power play breaks it open.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, we've seen them score 2 power play goals on those 2 opportunities they get. They win 2-0, and everyone goes home happy. And how great is this team? But now that's the concerning part for me, is that they haven't been able to get it done in the big parts of these games.
Without knowing anything, because again, if you're just joining, which on a podcast you don't usually join in, you start at the beginning, but I'll still say
and hopefully you're still listening.
Right, and hopefully you are still listening. We're doing this after the Bruins game on Sunday night instead of early Monday morning due to conflicts on Monday morning for all of us. But we don't know what's up with Tuukka Rask. It looked, I don't say hurt, I know, but something discomfortable. Was that the right? That's unbelievable.
It was something.
Something uncomfortable. Jesus, English first language. Come on, Billy. Something happened. Now skating off, grabbing his back, but we don't know. Could have just been a little tweak. Could be something. But there has to be concern, right, Razor? Especially with all the games that are coming up.
That's right, and that's the concern is the games coming up. And the play was, he reached to his left, maybe 3 minutes left. The Devils had a pretty good chance. Jack Hughes was in front, and he sent his toe out to the left, and watching just on TV, not being in the building, but watching on TV, he was really slow to get up. And I was waiting for him to see how he was going to skate to the bench, actually, because I knew you can fake it, until then, but you have to get to the bench pretty quickly. It's gonna show whether it's a growing, and then him reaching for the back made me feel a little better, to be honest, because you could easily just get a little spasm. You could get something that's really uncomfortable in the back, but that will go away. If it's a growing, you're talking 14 days right off the bat.
Right.
Whether it's good, bad, if it's a growing,
Shesterkin just pulled his groin, right? Mild. They said mild, but that's still
You see that play he made, and they say mild. That's 14 days for a goaltender. You just can't push it. You can't play a game halfway, because then you're really asking for it. So for me, the holding of the back is a little better than what I had thought a minute and a half earlier than that. It certainly would have been interesting to see the Bruins tie it up, and who would have come back out of that gate. That would have been interesting, and it would have told us a story too. We would have had a much better understanding of exactly where he was at. But we don't have that, and we have to wait at least Monday, probably. Really, it's realistically probably till Tuesday to really know where he's at. I can't imagine we're going to get answers on Monday.
If Halak was scheduled to start on Tuesday already, which he might be, in the island, don't even take Tuukka. Don't even take him. Just
Yeah.
call
Baseball
up.
starter policy. Keep him at home.
Right. See, keep him home or send him to the next city and keep him home. Call up Swayman or Vladar, doesn't whatever.
Yeah.
Back up, and then get him ready for Thursday. We obviously don't know the schedule, but it could have gotten changed with just what happened. My guess is that it would have been Halak, and then you go Tuca back at home.
That would be my guess as well. And that's the one game a week that they're sticking to.
Yeah. I think they got to make a couple of changes for the next game. I think they lineup. I think that there needs to be. I think Crowley needs to come back in.
Are they going big? Are they going to really shake it up?
I don't know if they have that choice yet. I mean, unless they call up a guy like Zach Senyshyn from Providence or Marlboro. I love it. Somebody called him the Marlboro man. I'm not encouraging smoking. Hate smoking. Sorry, folks. Sorry if anybody's smoking and I offended you. Sorry.
I never smoke.
Love a good cigar. I'd say 3 times a year a good cigar. 3 times. Summertime especially. Anyways. But Senyshyn's played well down there. But I think Crowley has to get in for Studnicka. I do.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
We talked about lack of fourth line identity. They need to find it again. Have to. They need to get Charlie Coyle going, Craig Smith going. I don't know. I didn't mind Anders Bjork's game. I thought he was dancing around. Do you elevate him in the lineup, put him on his offside, which is overall what he prefers the most? Do you put Jake DeBrusk back on his left side? I think they're going to keep playing Jake for 2 reasons. Try and get him going. And if he does get going, if somebody is interested, you got to show him still for a trade. And,
I agree. You got to keep get the blood out of the stone at this point. You got to go. He's got to go. He's got to figure it out. You got to keep going. You got to figure it out. And for either of those reasons, at this point, it doesn't do anybody any good at one goal and just not getting to the position on the ice that he needs to get. I could see Frederick. I didn't look, where he was tonight. I thought he took a little dip down. And if you're looking to get Charlie Coyle going offensively, that moving Bjork up might make more sense. Give him a little speed. I thought. Well,
I could see Freddie, Corrali, and Wagner.
Yeah, moving him down is finding that identity. Go out and just be aggressive. I thought Frederick was trying to make plays that weren't there tonight. There's a few seam passes where they had no chance of getting there. Instead of putting it deep into the corner, and I for whatever reason I noticed that tonight, and I might have ISO-cammed him a little bit more than usual, just because he came off a very emotional game too, and I was interested to see how he was going to be able to get himself going for a 5 o'clock tilt. And then you got to find a way to get David Krejci going, and where his health is. How does he feel right now after missing a few games? Is he 100 NHL 100%? And I don't mean perfect. I just mean is he where he needs to be, or do they need to put some speed?
It doesn't look it.
Yeah, it doesn't. And does that
put Pasternak with him?
That's what I was going to say. That's exactly what. Do you need to give him something to get him going? In the fact that put the carrot there. Let him nibble on that a little bit, and let those 2 guys go at it.
I mean, I don't know if you played for a coach that utilized the pair system.
I didn't. That's a little more new school.
Yeah, I actually like that. I do. Of course, I love the Bergeron line when they're going. But how do you create depth? Sometimes, well, besides drafting good players, cultivating them, et cetera, sometimes you have to manipulate your lineup. I've been a big proponent of Pasternak with Krejci for a long time, but it has to be more. I mean, last time they did it, it ended quickly due to injury. But if everybody's healthy, I think you got to do it for 2 or 3 games, extended period of time, and get them going. Maybe Anders Bjork goes up there. Maybe DeBrusk goes back up there. I don't know. but I'm not against the pairs. I'm not. I mean, Nick Ritchie on the left with Coyle and Smith, would that help? I don't know. Maybe. I keep saying I don't know. Of course I don't know. But I mean, these are, these are.
You got to imagine coaching staffs shuffling their magnet board in the coaching room and moving pieces around, brainstorming what the whiteboard looks like, and
what about calling Senyshyn up, giving it a go? I mean, are you okay with that against the Islanders?
What about McKegg? Good showing.
Tap the keg, baby.
Tap the keg.
Tap
Worked
the
last
keg.
time. He's a pro.
I could use another
He's
keg.
ready.
You're right.
He deserves it after his performance. It came in once. And
what about Corrali and McKegg and maybe you go Corrali, McKegg, and I guess Wagner, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think you need to do something like that, especially with the amount of games that are coming up. Let's run through a few other players and we'll wrap this up here. Defense. I have no issue with the defense tonight.
None. They were good.
None. I liked Zaboro. I really liked Connor Clifton. Tenorti did his gig. I thought, what did Big Jared play? 15 and a half minutes, couple of hits.
That's his wheelhouse. That's his game. That's his game.
245 on the PK, which was second most to Chucky Norris, who played 327 on the PK.
I like having the long stick, big frame on that PK. Yep. Looks proper.
It does. It does. So I don't know if this is going to be his big get now, but I give my for Tenorti, meaning if this will be it, because he has struggled to keep up at the NHL regularly throughout his career. But I mean, he's making Donnie Sweeney.
Listen, there's always a honeymoon period, and there's going to be, he's coming off a pretty good week. This is as good of a week as he could have had.
Yeah,
coming in here and dealing with everything against Washington, but he played well tonight. I really liked the D all around.
I did too. I thought led by Charlie, I thought they were great. I really did. I thought they did for what they are now. Another huge test against the Islanders coming up.
Yes,
the Islanders are going to chip, chase, put into spots, get behind the goal line. This could be tough. Maybe, Tenorti drove from Nashville to Boston. He's played really well. Maybe they force him to drive from Boston to New York instead of take the plane.
That's it.
If
a couple other guys to jump in with him.
Yeah, it was only a few-hour ride. Yeah. All right, anything else you want to cover here? It's not fake coffee. It's a mug. Again, it's out of habit, but my beer is just about done.
Yeah,
I need another. I think I need another one.
One more nightcap.
Yeah, I think so. Anything else you want to get over? Anything you need to get through?
No, it's just this one's a frustrating one. Mm-hmm. It is, and this team doesn't give us too many of these. It's just coming off of that win, and these 2 points, and they're the bottom of the team, one of the bottom teams, and everyone else been beating up on the Islanders. Just beat up on Buffalo, 6-0 against them, and they've been beating up on New Jersey as well. And you're just gonna have to. You're just going to have to the rest of the way. There's no easy game. So I think the big thing to what you just mentioned is there's going to be some shakeup. I think they've got to shake it up just to get everybody's attention again. And then it could start with moving Pasternak down and getting Krejci going. But
the Bruins right now are in third spot in the East, as the Islanders now have catapulted themselves, winning the last 5 in a row into first place. Yes, they have 3 games in hand with 34 points in 25 games. Washington with the win this afternoon or this evening, 32 points, 2 games above. They've played 2 games more than the Bruins. So technically the Bruins are still fine, but you know what I mean.
And those games are Buffalo. So that's the, Boston.
Boston has 8 in their next 27, I believe, against Buffalo.
Yes, so that is
assuming Buffalo doesn't implode, right?
It's not
Buffalo
gloom and doom. It's just tonight. Right. It felt like we were going to smoke them.
You hoped,
but it's the NHL.
It's the NHL.
Can't just put your stick out in the ice.
Nope, ain't that the truth? All right, so we get back at it. We have a very busy week coming up. The Bruins have a busy week, so here on Morning Brew, busy. So Bruins game Tuesday on the island, Thursday at home against the Rangers, Saturday afternoon at home against the Rangers. We are hoping we have tentatively scheduled, I guess you would call it penciled in, an interview on Friday with somebody. So we're hoping that does happen as well. So an extra brew for you, an extra cup or two for you. But in the meantime, Bruins lose to the New Jersey Devils 1-0 on Sunday night at TD Garden. We'll be back with you after Tuesday's game when the Bruins take on the Islanders. In the meantime, enjoy your coffee, everybody.